What's up, guys? Guess what? That was it for season 1 of FIFO, the podcast. It was exciting. We got it. I just want to recap what season 1 was and what season 2 is going to be like. Season 1, Danny and I literally just became friends literally in the beginning of 2024 in January, and we recorded 2 podcasts per week for approximately 5 or 6 months, and we learned a lot. We grew a lot, and we put 26 episodes together. We have FIFO, the podcast. We were just figuring it out and everything. And then what we are doing now, Danny is growing, I'm growing, and our digital marketing and our businesses are growing, and entrepreneurship growing. And Danny is going to be branching off and making his own podcast. It's called Just Be Humans. So it's in digital marketing, and it's going to be about how he can use the humanistic aspect to digital marketing. And Five for the Podcast is going to continue on. We're going to call it season 2, but I'm going to be the host of the podcast, and I'll still be having guests on here regularly. But when we don't have regular podcasts, I'm going to record content. So it's a format where you still get value. You still get the podcast once a week, but it's going to be on my YouTube channel, and Danny will have his own podcast as well too. It's going to be onto digital marketing. So we're branching off, we're growing. Good things all, they change. So I was sad when we decided to, go into our own podcasting career ourselves, but it was a good start off, learning a lot from Danny and digital marketing. I'm sure he learned a lot from me. So all good things, it doesn't last forever, but the good thing is that we learned and we grew, and we're still supportive of each other and everything. But this is going to be season 2 of FIFO, the podcast. It's going to be hosted with me, and I'm still looking for guests. So if anybody's interested, I'm always looking for interesting guests to come on to our show and talk about personal development, nice stories, cool stories, anything that revolves around entrepreneurship, growth, spiritual, nutrition, experts in their own field that I'm not an expert in, so I could get out to my communities as well too. So it's gonna be a lot into personal development, and then I'll do little fun episodes, to keep things interesting as well too. So I'm excited to get creative and bring something new to you guys as well too. So a little update. So I don't have any sponsors or anything. I don't have a promo code to share with you guys. So the only person that is sponsoring this podcast, this YouTube channel, is me. So if you are interested in personal development coaching, I do have coaching programs that I put together and a coaching community as well too. So feel free to click the link on the YouTube. Make sure to subscribe as well too, because the channel, the more people, the more engagement, the more content we could put out together. And make sure to subscribe and share it with your network as well too. So I am the sponsor of the show. So if you want me to keep putting out more content and everything, would subscribe, share it, join in for a discovery call. If you want to work with me, I have 15-minute coaching calls that you can schedule on my calendar link, and I can tell you a little bit about how we work and what we have to offer and how to support you in your personal development journey. But so that is the update from the podcast. The format's going to be a little bit different, but it's always going to be fun and creative because that's what I like to do. But the new season, it's going to be more formatted, I guess, more professional, more cleaned up, but just better. Overall, the goal of everything that I try to do is try to improve incrementally. So let's get ready for the full podcast. I'm going to go into some content for you guys. And this first thing that I want to talk about is how to get into a flow state. So I created a bullet list for you guys, or some tips, some strategies. So this podcast is also going to be valuable too, that you can use. So this is especially, this podcast is going to be great for anybody that is trying to gain focus into like their life's work. So it's a philosophy that I have, and it just kind of flows into daily life and daily work. So we're going to talk about how to incorporate more flow into life, so it really seems almost like effortlessly who you are and how you instill it into your daily life, into your daily routine. So the first one thing that you want to do is understand what flow is. Flow is just a state of what you are, how you're being, right? You're focused, you're concentrated, you're not distracted. There's a few ways to get into this state, and it's very it just requires some coaching, requires practice and stuff. So really, flow is a psychology or like a state of mind, right? Use a lot of philosophy how to describe to get into this flow state. Flow state is really just a lot of emptiness and not letting things like distract you. So really focusing on the things that are important into your life. There's a lot of things that we focus that aren't really important into our life. Like what's going on in the news sometimes it's not relevant. Sometimes there's a new issue that comes up that might seem like it's relevant to you, but it's not. Sometimes we have to sit down and just say, hey, what's important for me? And really eliminate a lot of the distractions in life. And really what flow is, it's really eliminating a lot of distractions in your life. There's more things that will distract you. All right, so in personal development, it's a thing that you do, right? If you want to achieve something, if you want to be like focused, you do have to set some clear goals, right? It has to be specific, like a deadline, some course of action that you want, right? If you want to make like a certain amount of money, you want to lose a certain amount of weight, that weight has to be within like 90 days, 60 days. So you could really feel like there's something that you can measure and you could shoot for. So that's first part of flow is like, set some clear goals for yourself. A lot of the goals that we set is very vague. There's no timeline to it. There's no like certain number to it. And there's also no reason why we do these goals and stuff. So if you get clear on those goals, it's the start of getting into a flow state. The second thing is finding the right challenge and skill and balance. So this is the need for certainty and uncertainty, right? It's one of those driving factors, us as humans, this is something that we want and need. And when we're put in this area of where like something is, we know that we could do, but not 100% sure, that we're in that state of a little bit of uncomfortableness and a lot of growth occurs in this area. And you're confident enough in yourself that you could accomplish these challenging tasks that you never done before. So I can use myself as an example is I'm an entrepreneur and I'm building this business. I know I have these skill sets, but I have never put anything like a 6-figure or 7-figure business together. So for me, I'm in the right place, a right challenge in my life, right? And it's the same with bodybuilding. And use myself as an example because I'm the person that I can master or I have the most experience of, and I can share you from my experience. But when it comes into bodybuilding, it's like, okay, I've had years of bodybuilding experience, but I'm not a professional bodybuilder. But I potentially could be a professional bodybuilder. I'm an amateur bodybuilder right now. So I'm in that phase where like, I know I have the skill set, I know I have the work ethic, I know I have the discipline, but I have not achieved being a professional bodybuilder or even like a title holder. So if you're in that stage of life where you have the skill set, but you're in that stage where like, this might be a challenge or I've never done it before, that's the right place that you want to be in. The next tip for getting into a flow state is eliminating distractions, right? Distractions are a big thing, right? And not everybody wants to get into the flow state. Not everybody's ready to do deep work. But when you're ready to do deep work and really push your life forward and take it to the next level, right? You really do have to eliminate distractions. Eliminating distractions, it keeps you in this immersed feeling, right? Of like focus. And sometimes I lose focus. But the fact that I've almost eliminated everything out of my life that doesn't involve my goals, it keeps me more focused when I do become unfocused. So one, you got to get clear on your goals and everything, and then you can actually eliminate distractions. Distractions could come in a lot of different things. It could come in TV, it could come in those friends, it could come in like that social group, it could come in those activities. Those things are distractions, right? At those times, you have to decide, is what you're wanting to achieve more important than those distractions? And the distractions are fine. We all get distracted. I get distracted and stuff, and I need a break from what the hell I'm doing, right? but that cannot be a priority, right? The priority is to focus on what you want to achieve. Those will be called that will be called a sacrifice now, right? If you're looking at it, it's a distraction. Now we got to look at it as, now you're making a sacrifice of like not going to those events, not eating those certain type of foods, right? Now that's a sacrifice. And then the next thing you want to focus on is the present moment, guys, because the present moment is really how you live in a flow state. Because if you're worried about the past, if you're worried about the future, right, you're not present in being able to decide, being able to work and be productive and focus on what you need to accomplish in the present moment, right? If you're distracted from this present moment, it takes away from this concentration. And flow really is just a fancy psychology word of just concentrating, right? It's always saying, like, if you focus on the past, you're depressed. If you focus on the future, you have anxiety, right? You're anxious about something. When you bring yourself into this centered flow state where you can fully concentrate, another word for flow is concentration, right? You could concentrate on your work and not be distracted by things. So, and then the last tip is embrace the experience, guys. The experience, for me, the reason why I record, the reason why I document, the reason why it's compelling to put it together, I am embracing the experience because I do not know if I will ever be able to achieve this flow state ever again in my life, or how concentrated I am. This is a concentrated state that I am in, and I do want to record it. I want to be able to get the content out and record so I can share it with you guys. And eventually, if you guys want to get into this flow state where it is very immersive, it's very cool, but I don't know if it's gonna last forever. So it's something that I am currently enjoying and embracing in this present moment. And for you guys, right, part of life, you could really just slow things down, embrace your everything, the present moment, and embrace the experience, like with your kids, with yourself, who you are, and everything. You could live a happier, more fulfilling life. But that's FIFO the podcast. So there's going to be some content on there. There's going to be a little bit of me, my personality. But I hope you enjoy season 2 of FIFO the podcast. I like it. I'm not going to make it too long, but when I do have guests come on, I'll make the conversations a bit longer and you guys know me, I talk a lot and I don't want to bore you guys with it, but so I just want to jump on here and share with some actionable items or introspective work that I've done, and that might be helpful for you guys. But season 2 of Fight for the Podcast is still gonna be pretty much wing it, whatever's on top of my mind and how we want to get this information out. But also subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast, join Peak Performance Academy. I'm the head coach at Peak Performance Academy. And if you're interested in working to seeing how I can help you in your daily life, schedule a 15-minute discovery call. That'll be super cool. But other than that, I'm excited to start season 2 of the podcast. If you guys have any fresh ideas, want to be a guest on the podcast, make sure to join. Message me as well too, and I'm excited. Okay. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next podcast.